All right, morning everyone. Let's fire it up here. Okay, last night's session in the S&P, I mean, it actually looks like that moved a little bit there intraday, but that was just simply just because of how little volatility we actually had. So you can see that the range in the S&P was less than 10 points. The NASDAQ also obviously very tight. I mean, volatility is just dried up like a freaking raisin the last couple weeks. It's just getting quite frustrating after we had such an exciting couple months. You know, I don't necessarily think that this is something that's going to be able to stay around, simply because there's too much going on in terms of global policy change, and obviously the U.S. is starting to get close to a point of interest rate hikes, and I think that that's where things get really exciting as we get closer and closer to that. But I mean, we've just gone through to incredibly low levels over the last few days. We had oil, which actually saw a big spike up yesterday after we saw crude oil inventories. Interesting thing is we also once again had a bigger build in crude oil inventories, and it still sent the oil price higher. So it's kind of like the market is playing for a build already. And and then when it doesn't come down, and it immediately spikes higher. Other than that, I don't even know what to point out in the States. If you see overnight in Asia, we had a big move out of Shanghai on the back of stimulus hopes. A lot of the market's really expecting them to come with something very soon for the housing market there, and maybe even some other measures. The thing is, I mean, it kind of almost seems like this has just become the norm now. They just throw some other measure at the market, but it's not doing anything to stem the decline. So starting to feel a hell of a lot like in the States when things really started to come unhinged in 2008. If you look at Australia, we did see a little bit of a correction there, but same sort of thing. Not a whole lot. I mean, there's just no leadership going on anywhere right now. None of the currencies are moving. None of the indexes are really moving. So there's very little to actually look at. When we look at our charts of interest today, we've got from Miles Woodland showing that rates are over the past 3,000 years. And you can see the interest rate cycles. I mean, obviously we're at the lowest interest rates, short-term and long-term ever in history. And I think that this is what's really important about this is simply the fact that that's in the States about to change. And so that's we're at any time that you're kind of at unprecedented levels, and then you start to get a reversal from those unprecedented levels, I think that makes it even more significant, obviously. Right, this morning we had a few people out with numbers, one not on here, which is Impala's. I'll just go ahead and mention Impala's coming out, looking to sell some assets. They're actually saying that they need additional funding for their business, for growth, which sounds like a really articulate way of saying that they need to do a rights issue because they don't have enough cash. Anyway, Massmart we had out this morning looks lower on headline earnings per share versus Bloomberg consensus. Revenue also looks lower. Divvy came in line. Liberty looking a little bit better across the board, except for the Divvy. The Divvy may be light by 5 cents relative to expectations, but the earnings and the revenue numbers look good. And then we've got British American Tobacco at the opening bell. Maybe jot those numbers down, looking for full year earnings to be £2.07, 7 pence, a revenue of 13.9, and divvy per share at 98p. All right, looking at market data today, we've got consumer confidence out of Germany, we've got unemployment rate out of Germany, we've got local PPI, we've got GDP out of the UK, we've got consumer confidence in Europe, and then the States, we've got a slew of numbers. Big ones obviously being durable goods and jobless claims. We also have CPI, which I think is important. Okay, let's get into the maps. To be honest, I don't have that much to show because not that much happened again yesterday. So we'll have a look here and see what we can find. Just want to point Mr. Price out again. Kind of want to making a move up toward that all-time closing high, which is up around 268. We got up over that at one point actually yesterday. It closed just below it, but I think we've still broken out of the little bull flag here. So I think we've still got higher levels maybe to come in Mr. Price. If you look at Impala, obviously on the back of numbers today, there could be some real action here. You can see that we kind of right at support, I think, in what is really starting to look as well like a rising channel here, or a bit of a longer term bear flag. Just these things haven't been able to get off the ground, and maybe it's because of these reasons. The guys are going to come in for a rights issue or something, and that's probably why they're looking so heavy. Amplats also made such a significant effort here. I mean, if we get through 390 here, I think you can close your eyes and buy this thing, because you very rarely see such a line in the sand here where that's been an absolute top. But if you look here in terms of a closing basis, we've dropped out just narrowly out of support here, and this is also, it's just incredibly consistent, this little uptrend here. So, I think there's a real breakout that's probably getting ready to come one way or another in Amplats. I think you got to expect Impala's actually to trade down a little bit today, looking to raise funds and that sort of thing, especially in this environment for that sector. But it might have a little bit of make Amplats also a little bit heavy. So just keep that in mind today. Watch this. This one could actually have a nice breakout coming. And then the last one that I'm going to show this morning is Trueworths. We showed this chart. So we made this great breakout that happened here right around $88, and we ran straight to 98 in 2 days. We were talking about that. If we got above 88, it was going to make a huge break. I think yesterday we got very close. So we traded down to about 89 rand, and on the intraday session, would have loved it to come down and put in a little bit more time and test around 88. But I think buying this around 88 could probably be a reasonable opportunity here, simply because I think still probably a lot of guys on the wrong side of this trade. This is a huge breakout that's happened here, and if we can get some stock closer to 88, it might be a great little opportunity on a retest of supports and then push up nicely above 100. And that's it for today, guys. Good luck out there.